It's time for a 5th anniversary giveaway. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Unlockable Podcast, where this month it's a freaking 5th anniversary party, and we're celebrating by giving away one physical copy of Mario Party Jamboree on the Nintendo Switch. It's just 2 small steps to enter this giveaway. Number 1, give this podcast a rating on the app of your choice, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Podcast Republic, or Podchaser. And step 2, screenshot it and send it to either me or Hannah or in the Discord. You can DM me on Instagram, Facebook, Discord, or Twitter at BirdDogGaming, and Hannah is on Instagram at GameGirlAdvanceSP. That's it. If you're feeling really generous, give us a review because we need those to grow our show. The giveaway is open to US and Canadian listeners, and the last day to enter is December 22nd of 2024. Now let's get into the show. Today we're talking all about Mario Party, from the first game all the way to Jamboree, and we're including all the weird spin-offs and arcade games too. You're definitely going to learn something today. Let's go. Welcome back to the Unlockable Podcast. My name's Christian, and joining me as always is the Game Girl Advance SP herself.
Howdy.
She's rocking Christmas PJs on November 21st, y'all. You can't see it, but...
That is right. We literally bought these the day after Halloween, and I've been wearing them ever since.
I'm here for 2 straight months of Christmas. I don't care about people that get mad about it. I'm here for it.
That Mariah Carey. Mwah.
I mean, I had a friend that was just at a Mariah Carey concert. She's doing a Christmas tour right now.
I didn't know that.
That's pretty cool.
Dang, that's so fun.
Hannah, we're doing this podcast thing for 5 years, dude.
That is crazy. When's the last time you could say you've done something for 5 years? Like, actually done it every month?
Every month? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this content on YouTube. Podcast, YouTube videos. That's it. I haven't done anything else for 5 years straight. Not paid my bills, not ate food, nothing.
Okay. Fun things, okay? Fun things.
Sorry, I don't need to be a brat 2 minutes into the episode.
Yeah, come on now.
How are you?
I am good. I'm starting to jog and run now, which is nice. Yay, getting an early start on New Year's resolution, I suppose, so that's fun.
Well, I think a great way to start this episode is by telling the listeners about your experience the other day.
Yeah, so on my jog, I'm running up a bridge, and I see a crushed, what looks like, there's a bunch of trash. We had a bunch of hurricanes and stuff, so there's still trash everywhere. And so I'm running up this bridge, and I see a crushed PS2 case, and I'm like, okay, that's a little strange. I wonder why that's there. And it's interesting, it had literally just been there, because I ran on Thursday, and then I found this on, I think it was Tuesday. So, I don't know if some mom chucked it out a window, or what, or some car carried it up. I don't know. But I was running, and I stopped dead in my tracks, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh my god, that's a Persona game. And then I got a little closer. Oh my god, that's a Persona 4 game on the PS2. I was like, that is some of the craziest thing I've ever seen. So, being me, the rational part of me just kept walking, and I was like, you know what, wow, that's so weird, I can't wait to tell people. And then the hoarder gamer side of me was like, okay, I need to go get that. So what I did was I jumped into oncoming traffic after there was a break in the cars, and I went and I picked it up.
Right.
Because why not? And
that's
so I looked at it. That's what you do. The hoarder in me was like, we need this now. And it's sitting on my shelf over there. I waited until I finished my run to actually go look at it, and it is beat the heck up. It's got huge craters from where cars had run it over where the rocks were, and it is absolutely unplayable. But I had hopes that maybe if I turned it on, it would work.
There's a story there, right? That's just a story piece for the rest of your life now.
I agree. And then I had to jump over a concrete wall into traffic to go get it, but I certainly did. Wasn't going to leave it there.
That's incredible. I don't have anything that has happened to me in the last 30 days to even combat that. That's pretty amazing.
And then I told you that literally I go on this run every day, and I kept looking for more games. Maybe a whole box fell off, some GameCube games, or maybe even some Game Boy Advance games, Haven't found any, but I'm still looking.
It would be crazy if that actually did just come from a hurricane, just somebody's crap, washed
Blown
ashore.
away. That would suck. But it's so weird because it was like up on the bridge. Like it has to either travel on a car or like I guess maybe the wind was super strong. But so weird.
It could have just been a random DVD. It could have been some piece of garbage, but it was something pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like, certainly it's just a Madden game. No, it's a Persona game, a full-on Persona game.
My life is going pretty well. I had some really great Texas weather. It's currently like 56 degrees out, and we had Thanksgiving at work today. So that's always fun because we have like people from all over the world working at my job, and they have some pretty eccentric dishes, and I love to try new stuff. And yeah, it was a good time. Always is.
What did you bring?
I brought nothing because I'm a scumbag.
Okay.
There were a lot of people that brought nothing. But yeah, I didn't bring a single thing. I need to figure out what I'm bringing to real Thanksgiving in a week, because I can't show up with nothing to that.
Pumpkin pie, mac and cheese, you name it. Easy stuff.
It's gonna be a big Thanksgiving. 2 really large families, not mine, but my roommates, and yeah, we'll see. I don't want to take over anybody. I don't want to step on any toes for anybody that's already bringing something.
Right. Well, it's not too bad to add a bunch of stuff. Everyone loves food. I mean, geez.
You about to do some traveling for Thanksgiving?
I am. Actually, I'm going to Texas.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, last minute plans, but yeah, we literally leave tomorrow.
That's how it always is with you in Texas.
We weren't sure if we were going to be able to go at first because my mom has the dog and she couldn't board the dog because the daycare was full, but we are.
Well, that's a bet. If you want to hang, hit me up.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about 5 years of this podcast, Hannah. I have written a few questions down. I've gotten all of our numbers crunched. Not really. I've recorded our total listens for each episode, and yeah, I think we can kind of look through these stats. But first, I'm going to ask you some questions. What is your favorite episode that we have done over the last 5 whole years?
Okay, I have 2 because I couldn't decide. I really like our research episodes. Those are super fun. This is one of those. I like researching things. I like learning things, and I like, sharing the things that I learn. But like my favorite ones are the ones that we like actually get to be creative. So my favorite is titled "What We Want from Our Nintendo Sequels," which is where we pulled up a bunch of games like Zelda, Metroid, blah 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 blah, and then we said, okay, we like this from the previous game, but I think we could do this with it. And so we got to kind of like make our own concepts and put our own opinions into it. So that one's my favorite. The second one that I have, and I think it's just because I had such a fun time playing the game, was Dokapon Kingdom. I mean, that game was just so much fun. Such a fun experience.
I love that you wrote that, because I also have just super fond memories of playing that entire game with you for like 40 hours or whatever.
Yeah, so good.
Did you write the episode numbers down?
Ooh.
All right, I looked it up because you're a slacker. What We Want from Nintendo Sequels is episode 16, all the way back in May of 2021.
Our second year.
Yeah, I guess our second full year. Yeah, you are definitely always requesting us to do these creative ones. I need to meet you in the middle. We need to make some more of those happen, because I don't know. I feel like I don't have the creativity to do it, but if I get like a couple months advance notice or something, I can make that happen.
A couple months?
For real.
Okay.
And the Okami episode was 48 in March of this year.
Dokapon?
Yeah. Oh, what did I say? Oh,
Okami.
Dokapon. That one was only August of 2024.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. What about you? What are your faves?
I think that our episodes dedicated to one single game are super fun. I didn't choose one of those, but they are a blast for sure. Okami was awesome. I personally loved Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I loved just talking about Bayonetta with you after finishing it. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
almost like a book club feature type of
Mm.
situation. You sit there, you suffer or love a game, and then you get to talk about it with someone. How many times you beat a
I
game and you
agree.
just like have no one to talk to about it?
All the time.
So I love doing that with you. I personally chose episodes 28 and 29. They are video game genres, but
Yes.
we had gotten halfway through the episode and it was already like 2 hours, and I was like, Hannah, we're barely scratching the surface. Do you want to make this 2 episodes?
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I made that episodes. We decided to break that into 2 episodes, so that was June and July, all the way back in 2022. Hannah and I talked about the big umbrella genres. So instead of, well, I don't know, it's actually been so freaking long I can't remember, but we dove deep for 4.5 hours total on every video game genre, every major genre, and
Yep.
broke it down. And I remember arguing a lot about beat 'em ups and hack and slashes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was a very research intensive topic, and I think that we killed it. And that might be my favorite set of episodes.
I agree. That one took forever. And then I love RPGs, so of course you gave me that one. And I like could not for the life of me, I still don't know the difference between a strategy and a tactical RPG. I get them confused all the time. And I was like so nervous I was gonna mess it up in that episode. But I think I did okay explaining it.
I definitely learned a lot doing all that research.
That was fun.
Future episodes or topics we would like to cover, Hannah?
I always like doing our developer ones. I think that's super cool. I think we've talked about them enough, but like a fun example would be Monolith Soft. I love them. I just think they're so cool. Their ideas for games are so interesting, and I feel like we haven't really talked about like their early games enough, but I think maybe I should play those games first and then be able to talk about them. But one that I really, really want to do, and we kind of did this one 2 Octobers ago, was the canceled horror games. I want just like a specific, any genre, canceled video games, because there's so many ones that I have come across in our research that's like, oh my god, that would be so cool to talk about. Like, I wonder if there's any screenshots or like any kind of gameplay of it or stuff like that.
Those would both be fantastic. I think that our developer focused ones are really good. Talking about Mario Party today and doing research, I don't know if we're gonna do a Hudson Soft centric episode. Maybe we could, because we're only talking about them for a short amount of time today.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a Hudson Soft episode would be pretty good.
I agree. I was looking at some of their games and I didn't realize, well, I didn't realize they were so old and they've had their hands on like so many different genres. It's crazy.
Right. Um, yeah, they were pumping out a lot of games, but we'll talk about it shortly.
Yep.
Um, I think an episode on dang, what the heck was I about to say? I feel like I don't talk about modern gaming a whole lot, both like on this podcast
Mm-hmm.
and on my YouTube channel. I just feel like I mean, I've played 3 2024 games this year, and I don't think any more are coming out that I'm going to be picking up this year. And I think it would just be fun to like take a look back at like the games that I missed and the ones that I want to play. I could
Mm-hmm.
see us doing an episode like 2024 games that we would like to play that we haven't yet or whatever. I think that would be fun.
That would be fun.
And then definitely more game centric game episodes. I don't have any off the top of my head. I want to play Ease Origin and do an episode on that.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I have. We definitely need to plan our next game.
I was gonna say Yee's Origin would be perfect. I'd play that one and then I'd jump right into 1 and 2. I think that would be perfect.
Oh, good timing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm saying.
Um, Underrated episode that people should go listen to if they haven't. What you got?
So my first one that I put down was the genres episode, just because that one was so research intensive. The other ones were overdone concepts and the concepts that we love. I really like those episodes. That's like more of our own opinion pieces.
Nice. Yeah, I always think about that awesome thumbnail you did for Overdone Concepts, the freaking frying pan.
Thank you. Thank you. I really liked that one too.
These two are both very similar, sort of, but episode 14, I can't believe this was 52 or 42 episodes ago, but ports, remakes, and remasters.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was a blast.
That was good.
I mean, up until that point, I could not have told you what the difference was between between the three of these, honestly, and it's still a little bit fuzzy. Like, what the heck is that Paper Mario game that just came out? Is that a remake? Is that a port? I mean, a remaster? I don't know.
Who knows?
But yeah, that was super fun to talk about. The other one is spin-offs. We did a whole episode on spin-offs, and we went off the rails with that, and that was episode 19. But yeah, the takeaway and inside joke, if you've listened to that episode, is everything is a spin-off of Donkey Kong.
That's exactly right. That's funny. I can't remember if it was which one we argued about. Okay, I'm going to tell you a game, and then you tell me if it's a remaster or a spin-off. Was that in that episode at the end of it?
Oh, it had to have been.
Or the reboot or whatever it was. I don't know. But it was so fun.
Yeah, we also did an episode on reboots. I think just like those topic episodes, I don't even know what to call them, but I like that style. I wonder if there's any more we could come up with.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Let's talk about some statistics. If you don't want to hear about numbers, you might want to skip ahead about 5 minutes or something, but I think that this is fun to look at. And so the very first episode of the Unlockable Podcast was way back on November 19th, 2019. So 2 days and 5 years ago. And that episode it's our most listened to episode, probably because it is number one. Mm-hmm. Also interesting is that episode was 39 minutes long. We're probably halfway to that length right now as we are talking about the introduction of this episode still.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we were still learning how to be podcasters and everything, and we always tell people, like, don't recommend to new listeners that you go listen to the first episode. Like, that is like barely on YouTube still because of how hard it is for us to even acknowledge that episode exists. Like, it's just, we've come so far.
Yeah.
And I always, like, if you have an episode that you really like as a listener, you should tell your friends to listen to that one first, and otherwise just tell them to listen to the most recent one.
Agreed. The first like 5, I think, are a hard sell. Maybe 10, I don't know.
Did you have a chance to look at this Excel sheet already?
I did, but I didn't memorize any numbers, if that's what you're going to ask me.
Our total listens across everything, every podcast platform and YouTube for 55 episodes, 9,253 listens. I wish I had a button to push, because that is, like, exciting. That's a lot of freaking listens.
Wow. That is kind of crazy.
We are approaching 10,000 listens across our entire podcast history. So freaking thank y'all. Y'all are amazing.
I agree. That's really, 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 really cool.
Interestingly enough, 77% of that comes from YouTube. So I've often considered, like, I mean, not recently, but a few years ago, I was like, do we even need this on YouTube? Like, is it actually helping us? Apparently, yes. That is where 3/4 of y'all have listened to this podcast. So that's pretty exciting.
That is exciting. Now, if I had a really cool background, I'd say we can use our cameras, but you can literally just see my closet and all my junk. So.
Total listens by year. I did not even write that down. I forgot about that. Maybe next year. Our top 3 most popular episodes. So our first episode has 691 listens. That is how to start a video game collection, 40 minutes long. I think that one, like, I don't know, it's got going for it that it's only 40 minutes long, but it's also got going for it that it probably looks like a YouTube video when you see the thumbnail and you're like, oh, I want to learn how to start a video game collection, and this one's only 40 minutes long. Maybe I'll watch this video. People don't realize it's a podcast. I don't know. I'm just a theory, but episode 4, which is our top 10 most wanted items for our collections, that one has 565 listens.
That one was fun. That was a good one to do.
That was a hot minute ago. We don't do much collecting content anymore, so it's funny to look back at this. Episode 25, the history of Kirby. It was kind of that was probably the most research we've done for any episode up to that point. I mean, that was insane.
Oh my god. Well, we did every single Kirby game, and spoiler alert, there's a freaking lot of them. More than you'd think.
And we had also purchased, and I don't know if we beat it at that point, but we probably beat it at that point. It was Kirby and the Lost World or Lost Kingdom or whatever.
Yep.
Which awesome game on Switch. But yeah, we played the game and researched 50 Kirby games. That was a long episode. It was probably our longest at that point. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one, I'm glad it has a ton of listens. I know that it screams giveaway in the title and on the thumbnail, and so a lot of people listened to it or started it because of that. But I think it would probably still have been one of our most popular regardless.
It's definitely, I don't want to say it is the longest Kirby episode podcast out there, but I think it's very close.
Yeah. There's some good information in there, though. We weren't just reading off of Wikipedia. Yeah, if you like Kirby, check it out. I didn't want to put that one in underrated since it is our third most listened to one.
Definitely not underrated. Perfectly rated.
And do you know what our longest episode is?
I thought it was the Kirby one, and then maybe Bayonetta overtook it, and I don't know what it is now.
Bayonetta's up there. We have multiple 3-hour plus episodes. This is a sleeper. You would not expect this one to be 3 hours and 20 minutes long. It is our favorite games from A to Z part 2.
Huh. Weird.
So
why was that one so much longer than the other ones?
We did our favorite games alphabetically, broken up into 3 episodes, and this one covered games starting with J through R. I don't know. S is a huge letter, and I guess R is kind of a huge letter. I don't know what letter between J and R is making this 3 hours or whatever, but yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. 3 hours and 20 minutes. That was this year, actually. That was in January of 2024.
Jeez. It was probably M. I feel like M had a lot going for it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. We've broken 3 hours. We've broken 3 hours a few times, but we've been trying to steer away from that. We've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, just about 2 hours, I think, is. Mwah.
Let's see what other last stats I have here. We also have episode 2 has 318 listens. Episode 6 has 294. All the single digit episodes have over 200 listens. And one of our most listened to, actually, not most, but pretty up there. We have 183 listens on last month's episode, which was pretty sweet. That one was a blast. It was dead franchises. We chose 6 random franchises that we'd never even heard of and researched them, so that was cool.
Oh yeah, speaking of, I have a huge list. We could definitely do a part 2 of that one.
Oh yeah, we could do a whole podcast dedicated to that.
Or just one and dones. They made it, it didn't sell well, nobody bought it, so they stopped forever.
Right. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to our show for the last 5 years. Whether you have just tuned in for your first episode or you have somehow managed to listen to, I don't know if anyone's listened to 55 episodes, but if you have, please let me know because that's crazy.
Did you add up the total time?
Oh, that would have been good, but no. Oh my gosh.
Dang, that's so long.
I think if you average it to 2 hours per episode, that's like what, 110 hours of content. Sheesh.
That's pretty good.
That's like 5 days or something, 4 or 5 days worth of just listening to Hannah and Christian. If you have spent 5 days of your life listening to us talk about video games, God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
That's crazy to think about it that way. Anything else before we dive into Mario Party?
Nope, I think that's it. Let's get it rolling.
Let's get it rolling because we are 26 minutes in. Today, it's a party. It's the 5th anniversary party. You already heard about the giveaway. Make sure you get your entries in if you live in the United States or Canada, and we will pick one person to have a copy of Mario Party Jamboree, a game that neither of us has picked up or played yet. Alright, so we're going to start by talking about Hudson Soft. We're not going to deep dive into Hudson Soft, talking about their history that started in the late 70s. We're just going to start talking about what they were doing around the release of Mario Party. Why? Because they developed Mario Party, pretty much all of them. So Hudson Soft is most known for being they helped create the TurboGrafx 16 alongside NEC. They are the makers of Bomberman, Adventure Island, and Bonk. Their mascot is a little bee, and he actually has a name. It's Hachisuke.
Didn't know that.
I definitely didn't know that. They had a massive presence on the TurboGrafx 16 back in the late 80s, early 90s, since they helped develop it, but they also developed tons of games for other platforms. Around the mid to late 1990s, they were producing Bomberman games left and right for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Genesis, Saturn, TurboGrafx 16, Super Nintendo, N64, and even the freaking Virtual Boy. You can play Panic Bomber on the Virtual Boy.
Sick.
They did tons and tons of sports games. They had shmups, platformers, strategy games, puzzle games, RPGs. They were literally just doing it all. It's insane.
That's what I'm saying. They have their hands on every genre.
Yeah. And there's tons of stuff that never released here. There's so much Japanese exclusive stuff that Hudson Soft did. It is really impressive to see just the sheer quantity and I guess quality too that they were putting out in that era. Bomberman was the ultimate multiplayer game in this era. It always supported at least 4 players. Even if the console only supported 2 controller ports, they they would release their own multi-tap. They're known for having that Bomberman-shaped Super Famicom multi-tap. And freaking Saturn Bomberman supported up to 10 players. These guys were if anybody was doing party games, there weren't really party games a whole lot yet, but if anybody was doing a party style of local gameplay, it was Hudson Soft.
That's cool. I didn't know about Does that mean when you're saying that one adapter goes into the controller port and then it splits off? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I've never really used one. I've acquired them over my years of collecting video games, but yeah, PS1, PS2, the freaking Super Nintendo, the Saturn, they all had those multi-taps that would allow you to play with more players.
I didn't know that's what they were called. Multi-taps. Nice.
Bomberman, ultimate multiplayer game in this era. I think 4-player local gaming was definitely on the rise with the N64 and soon to be the Dreamcast having 4 controller ports. But I think Nintendo looked at all the stuff Hudson was doing. They had to have seen all the stuff they were doing and realized that they were the perfect candidate to develop a party game for their 4-player home console, the N64. I tried to do some digging on pre-Mario Party video games that were party games. And so Wikipedia actually has like a party games section, and I was surprised with how many were released before Mario Party. It's not a lot, but it was still kind of surprising. Most of these are not, I don't know, they're not like Mario Party in a sense, but Anticipation, that's a game super common. You see it at every game store you go to. It's like $5 on NES. It came out in 1988. It actually supported 4 players if 2 people would double up on 2 NES controllers.
That's awesome.
The board, it's basically a board game with mini games that closely resemble like Pictionary and Trivial Pursuit. So, 1988, a decade before Mario Party, you kind of have some Mario Party aspects built into this one. I think this was even published by Nintendo, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
Not.
They're like, give me that. That's our concept now.
Itadaki Street. This one's fun because it started in 1991 and it was exclusive to Japan until 2011 when we received Fortune Street.
Fortune Street. Yeah.
You knew it?
Yeah, I did. And not because I read your notes, because I just know that and the Japanese name.
Let's freaking go. So if you've seen this game or if you've played it, it's got a lot of Square Enix elements in it. It's because the series was created by Yuji Horii, who created Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
It has some similarities with Monopoly, but brings stocks into the mix. I don't think there's any mini games, but there might be. And then the next one is You Don't Know Jack from 1995. You ever heard of this?
No, but that's definitely developed by Americans, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was the first game in a series of funny party trivia video games that you do know called Jackbox.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, so we weren't alive in 1995. We were almost alive in 1995, but this game was on PC and it had a ton of sequels until like more recently when it became the Jackbox games, which a lot of people, I would say anyone listening to this podcast has probably played Jackbox.
Not played it, but I know what it is.
Oh, okay. And then this is crazy. 2 weeks before Mario Party was the release of Japan exclusive N64 game Getter Love. Does this ring a bell? Yep. I feel like one of us has brought this up on the podcast before, but I could be wrong. It is a dating sim party game exclusive to Japan.
Ooh. Sign me up.
It was developed and published by Hudson Soft because they were freaking busy. You win by getting a girlfriend before all the other players, because obviously.
Awesome. Sick.
So that was 2 weeks before Mario Party released. And guess what? Hudson Soft released another game 1 week before Mario Party released. It was
Sheesh.
Bomberman Party Edition. This one was on PS1. Hudson Soft released 3 party games in the span of 15 days. This one was exclusive to PS1, supported 5 players and multiple game modes, and characters had different stats, personalities, and abilities.
Dang.
So Hudson Soft is crazy. They must have had a ton of employees. I have no idea. It would be fun to dive into this company.
Yeah, I agree. That's a fun up for sure.
But that's it. That's the preface. And now Hannah can take us into the actual Mario Party games.
Absolutely. And guess where we're starting? That's right. Mario Party 1. Good guess.
Whoa.
So it's the first game in the Mario Party series, released for the Nintendo 64 in 1999. Miyamoto was actually a development supervisor. So that was kind of fun. A little fun factoid. 6 playable characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, DK, Wario, of course. There is a story mode, kind of. There's really like no story. It's a Mario game. Come on now. Never really a story, but it's called Minigame Island. You're competing with the other characters in the game to be the best. The game basically turns level-based, like typical Mario games. You get like a world map, and you have to go to like each spot. Once you beat that spot, you can move on to the next. Each minigame has requirements in order to move on, like collect a certain amount of coins or whatever it is. After reading some of the reviews, it actually says that some of the minigames and the requirements that you have to meet are actually really difficult, especially for a game that's like aimed towards kids. They're like, this is actually kind of hard. Like, I don't think a kid's going to sit here for a long time and play this. Fun fact about this one, though, and I think a lot of people know it, is there are certain mini games in this game that require the player to rotate the analog stick at a high speed, and of course when you give a gamer a controller, they're going to find the best way to do it. But I guess apparently some kids were so forceful with it that they were getting blisters, friction burns, and lacerations on their palms, because you just stamp it and you go and get it really good. Also, your analog stick is definitely going to flake off, and you're going to get a bunch of white dust everywhere. I don't know if have you ever played Mario Party 1?
I just played it like this year for the first time on the Switch, though.
See, you're definitely going to mess up your freaking analog sticks in that one, too. Anyway, although there were no lawsuits filed, which I thought there were, Nintendo of America did receive about 90 complaints about it. They agreed to a settlement, which included providing the injured players with gloves and paying the states $75,000 legal fees. So
I want to know...
freaking...
I want to know if those gloves like had Nintendo branding on them, and if they did, like, are they super rare and collectible now?
So me being me, of course, knowing you would ask that question, I looked into it, and of course there's like several sources like, oh yeah, I used to have one and it looked like a Mario glove, or like, but no picture, and it's like, where's your source? Source is me. But I looked into it a little bit, and somebody said that it was just like, it's called it's a brand called Harbinger, I guess, and it was like a popular sports brand at the time. I don't know if they're still around, but it's literally just like a fingerless glove. It was black and it was white, and no Nintendo logo, because they probably didn't want to be associated with a game that's freaking wrecking kids' hands. So they probably just bought these bulk and gave them out. So, no, I don't think that there is any Nintendo-branded gloves out there.
So whatever idiot on the forum was like, yeah, it looked just like a Mario glove. He's like trying to mess with history out here, you know?
Yes. So as far as I can tell, the rabbit hole that I went down was they're unbranded. I mean, they're not Nintendo branded. There's some other brand, and it has nothing to do with them.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So, and you just said that there were other party games, but this Mario Party 1 is largely credited as kind of creating the party genre as we know now, like the more traditional one, or at least making it popular. I'm sure you could make that argument either way. Metacritic gave it a 79, which is pretty freaking high for the Mario Party series. We'll figure it out. But, like, people are so divided on if they actually like Mario Party or not. Like, it depends on, like, the experience that you have. If you play it by yourself, you're not gonna like it, right? But if you play it with 4 or 3 other people in one room, you're gonna love it. So there's ratings from, like, a 2 out of 10 to, like, a 9 out of 10. So it just depends on the experience that you have.
That is something I have also seen in my research for the games I did. It's so polar. Like, they're so divided. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a common theme throughout all of them. But this is one of the highest rated. So it's all kind of downhill, uphill from here. But yeah, that's what I got for that one. Then we've got Mario Party 2, which came out a year later in the year 2000, again for the Nintendo 64. Same 6 playable characters, just set in a new adventure and a new story. The game introduces the first use of collectible items in the Mario Party series. So Mario Party 1 had items, but it's not like the traditional use. It's like they just kind of like randomly appear on the board and affect a player for like a certain amount of time. They like add weird rules and stuff to it. So this is the introduction of the items that you can now hold. You can hold 1 at a time, and then later we'll see you can hold like 6 or 7 at a time later on in the series. This game is, I think, my personal favorite, especially on the Nintendo 64 era. I played it a lot. So my friends, it's more whimsical. So like if you've ever seen the box art, it's Mario with the cowboy hat. And you're like, that's weird. Mario's got a cowboy hat. But so they have outfits for every single board. All of the characters have outfits. There's a Western outfit, which is on the cover. There's like a pirate outfit, a wizard, like a space astronaut suit, and then like a safari looking one with like a weird hat, and then of course a regular outfit. So they got a little more whimsical with this one. Gave you some more stuff. There's battle items and duel minigames, which were introduced in this game. Players can now practice the minigames beforehand, which is a staple that is very much needed. You can't just expect people to jump into the game and figure out what to do. That is so unfair, especially if you've played it for many hours. So that was nice. Again, there's the minigame island where you go through all the minigames on a world map and blah, 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 And if you lose all your lives, you have to start at the last save point, all that fun stuff. Fun fact about this one, though. The game features an unlockable board, which I didn't know about, called Bowser's Land, which can be unlocked after playing on all the other starter boards at least once. So that's cool. I don't know how me and my friends didn't stumble upon that. I feel like we've played every board, but maybe not on one cartridge, because I had it and she had it, so I don't know if it was on the same one. This I didn't know, but the majority of the mini-games from Mario Party 2 are actually returning ones from the original. I didn't get the split on which ones are new, which ones are old, but they kind of like reworked it, add some more stuff. The Japanese version of the game, Bowser and the winner battle with good old revolvers, of course, which makes a realistic gunshot sound when they're shot, whereas in the US they changed it and they replaced with toy guns, and it's like a beam sound instead of like an actual gunshot. So thought that was interesting. Also, the European version is the only version to have a language select screen, so you can be played in English, French, German, Italian, or Spanish. That's pretty cool. And then there's actually a glitch in the game in one of the mini games called a hot rope jump. If you jump the rope 1,000 times, the game just freezes. Like, you're done. Like, hard stop, you're done. Get out of here. I don't know how many times somebody had to sit there and do that for it to work. Get 1,000. That's crazy. You get, like, maybe 6.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 in that game. Not 1,000. The game improved upon the first game in pretty much literally every aspect. The graphics are better. The story is a little more involved, a little more whimsical, like I said. The minigames had a better selection. And the music, I hear the music being praised in this one so much. They're like, it wasn't repetitive. You'll start singing it on your own if you're just like doing the dishes or whatever. That was cool. The pacing is also praised for being faster and less tedious. So you move a little bit faster. The NPCs a little bit faster. You don't sit there and watch them. A lot of people say this is the best Mario Party game in the series, and when it reviewed a lot of 8s and 9s out of 10, depending on who you ask.
Nice. Yeah, I've never played 2. I remember, like, I have the typical nostalgia, like, seeing it at Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, just being like, man, he's got a freaking cowboy hat. I live in Texas. That game looks sick.
So cool.
So do you actually wear...
I think...
the costumes in the game?
Yeah, so depending on which board you do, because there's different themed boards, your whole outfit changes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very interesting. Okay.
Yes, that's very fun. I don't remember if this is the one that I played the most. I've played all 3 of them, because I bought the first one, like, when I first started collecting. I found it at Goodwill, and I was like, I've never played this, and I tried to play it with my little cousin. Not a good time. And then my friend, who's like more experienced with the game, we went over to her house for like a party or whatever, and she's like, yeah, let's crank out the Nintendo 64, and we played like all of them that night. Wow. We were like, we need to play through all of it, and there was like a group of 6 of us, so we'd like kind of trade off. Super fun.
I need better friends, man. That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm. And we did that like multiple times. It was like, hey, what are you doing tonight? You want to play Mario Party? And we're all like, yeah. It was super fun. I was back in high school. Let's see. We got Mario Party 3 here. Came out the next year, 2001. Last entry on the Nintendo 64. It's also the last Super Mario game to release on the Nintendo 64, except for Australia, and Paper Mario was their last one. Just a fun little factoid. This game introduces 2 new characters, Daisy and Waluigi. It's the first game to feature a solo mode story campaign, like an actual story campaign, not just like things that you can do as a solo player. First game where minigames don't have to be purchased with in-game currency and can be playable from the beginning, which is annoying. It's so stupid. Like the games that the coins that you earn in the board games, you can use them like outside to buy minigames, which I guess just expands the gameplay, but like that would be annoying now. Could you imagine?
Interesting, yeah.
It's also the first game to introduce handicaps for players. So this story mode is super long and involved. The goal is to get a special star called the Millennium Star, and you have to prove that you deserve the star by beating all the other NPCs, and you're like fighting over it constantly, of course. You have to go through all the boards, which is 20 rounds each, which is very long for all those boards, and beat an NPC after the end of the board to collect a stamp. Once you collect all 7 stamps in your little stamp passport thing, then you get the Millennium Star. But it's like all the hijinks occur, like, oh, you finish a map, or you finish a board and you get ready to fight the NPC, and then like another character storms in. It's like, no, I deserve this. So it's like all quirky and fun. So it's not just like a plain. But Daisy and Waluigi are not playable in story mode, which is stupid. Yeah. I guess because they kind of show up throughout it. Fun fact, though, there are 71 mini-games within this game. Unlike Mario Party 2, which had a lot of Mario Party 1 games, these are all 71 are original. So it's a whole new experience. Let's see. Mario Party 3 is the 26th best-selling game for the Nintendo 64. I don't know if that's good or not.
There's only 300. That's kind of low.
Yeah, so it's up there. Anyway, selling just under 2 million copies. Received a lot of 7s and 8s out of 10s. Critics of the game said that it was pretty much the same. It didn't really add too many new features, but it did fix some of the other problems, so it didn't stray too far from the formula. It didn't reinvent the wheel, but, you know, if you're a fan of it, then you would like this one too, if you were bored of the second one. But yeah, overall, these ones are solid. These are my favorite ones out of all of them, just because they're so, like, you really have to be cool with it being unfair. You have to really like the spirit of the competition, you know, crushing your friends. But I like these ones. These ones are my favorite.
My cousin had Mario Party 3, and he lived one street away from me, like, for my entire youth. And he and we were like brothers. We were like always together, and still always hang out. I love this guy. But he had Mario Party 3. We grew up playing the absolute heck out of that game, and I still to this day, I don't think I've played a better Mario Party. I think it is not just nostalgia speaking. I think that the mini games are incredible on this freaking game. Mm-hmm. I think that the boards were so big and so good. I remember there were 1v1 boards specifically for two people to play together, mm-hmm. and they were just like made for two people, so you don't have to like, I don't know. I remember playing a lot of dual mini games on that board, and just they really thought of everything. Whether you were playing 1-player, 2-player, or 4-player, they had you covered. I never owned it myself for a long time, and because of that, I never got to experience the single player. I assume you didn't play single player.
Absolutely not. Didn't know it had one.
That game, like, I just feel like it had so much content that I never even got to explore. I remember there was always a locked door inside of the minigame house, and, you know, I always wanted to check out the story mode, but I didn't have the game, and I wasn't going to take turns with my cousin. That wasn't even an option. So, right. I don't know, maybe someday. Or maybe it's boring as heck to play single player. I don't know.
I don't think so. The reviews that I said this was the best. If you want to play by yourself, this was the game to do it in.
Oh, good to know. All right, let's. That's the first era. We're gonna go into the next era here. That was all you had?
Yeah, that's it.
So we're gonna cover Mario Party on the GameCube. So everything Hannah just said. Oh, I wanted to make one quick statement. You said 1999. That's for America. I didn't want people to get confused because I was talking about how Hudson released 3 games in 15 days. 3 party games in 15 days. They released Mario Party in 1998 in Japan. But yeah, it came to America in 1999.
Gotcha. Yeah, Japan got a lot of them first, but not always.
Not always. Okay, let's get into Mario Party 4 here. Any experience with this one?
I think I might have played 6 for like 25 minutes.
Okay. Mario Party 4. So we got brand new designs for some of the Mario cast around this time. It's a new console generation, and they were ready to bring it to the early 2000s, hip and cool and edgy. Hudson Soft was pumping out games every single year on N64 for the games you just talked about, and it continued on GameCube. So literally, God. 2002, we have Mario Party 4. It does have a single-player /story mode. You just basically play through the various maps, defeating opponents, and each map has a special minigame at the end against that map's host character. For example, if it's Shy Guy's Jungle Jam, you have to defeat Shy Guy in his special minigame. Overall, the story mode is apparently super weak. So after coming off of the freaking great story mode that was apparently in Mario Party 3, they absolutely failed in this game.
Boo.
The multiplayer, as usual, got praised, but like we were just talking about, reviews are literally all over the place. There's a 3 out of 10, there's a 10 out of 10, and it's crazy. I wish that like every freaking review aggregate these days wasn't always the same. Like, it's kind of annoying. But yeah, it did get a 70 on Metacritic. So if you do combine them all together and take the average, you get about a 70. So pretty good. And sold 2.5 million worldwide. This has been the only Mario Party to date with pre-rendered cutscenes. Thought that was funny.
Huh. That's interesting.
And like you were just saying, this one, oddly enough, came out in North America before Japan.
See? Happens.
Mario Party 5 came out the following year, 2003. It once again had a story mode. You essentially just win games against the Koopa Kids across 7 small modified boards. You have 15 turns to do so, or you lose. And to eliminate them, you have to make them lose all of their coins. Once again, doesn't sound like anything special. This game, the previous one sold 2.5 million. This one only sold... Oh, that was worldwide. So this one sold 2.2 million worldwide. 800,000 of those were in the U.S. And it got a 69 on Metacritic. So almost the same quality.
Nice.
They managed to fit 7 boards into this game, which was second only to Mario Party 1, which had 8 boards at the time.
Oh.
This was the first time you could not play as DK. Rest in peace.
Oh, why?
This game is literally a spin-off of Donkey Kong, and they removed the guy. That's pretty bad.
That's horrible.
There is a super duel mode in this game where you assemble and drive a combat vehicle. You choose a body, tires, engine, and weapons to design your little car, and then there are different game modes you can play with your assembled vehicle. There's this flag competition where you have to get 3 flags before the enemy player does, or there's one where you are straight up battling another player. Feels kind of crazy for a Mario Party game.
You know what? They're crazy with their minigames.
Mario Party 6 and 7, I've only played a little bit of these. I don't know, I might have played one round of each. I couldn't even tell you. These 2 games introduced the GameCube microphone. Both were offered in a big box version, so you could purchase the game with a microphone. However, it's not required to play. You could just turn mic minigames off. I love gimmicks. I love it so much. I talk about it all the time on the show, and apparently the mic's just garbage. Like, everybody on Reddit's like, yeah, don't turn mic minigames on. You're good.
Dang.
The
That's a
mic,
shame.
it just plugs directly into the memory card slot, and so you only need one for a 4-player game. I don't know if you pass the mic around or what, but this one, Mario Party 6 and 7 came out in 2004, 2005. In October of 2005, they announced a GameCube bundle with Mario Party 7, 2 controllers, and a mic for $100.
Dang. That probably goes for what, $1,000 now?
Oh, yeah, right. Absolutely insane because the game itself was $50.
Dang.
Single player story mode for Mario Party 6. Play mini games against the Koopa Kids. Takes place on a single row board. Pretty lame. Mario Party 7, they had something called Solo Cruise because this game takes place on a luxury cruise that's traveling around the world. How exciting.
Fun.
You compete against one other character trying to complete certain tasks on each board. So you actually have objectives, which is an interesting take. For example, if you have 50 coins by the time you get to this space, then you've completed the objective. Or collect 4 stars on this map, complete that objective. There's a high score section that shows you how fast you were able to complete each of these maps. I guess this was supposed to incentivize you to like replay Mario Party by yourself several times. I don't know. I'm always down for leaderboards, though.
That is a cool one.
Fun facts, there are Easter eggs on the start screen of Mario Party 6 if you say certain things into the microphone. I love that. The little sun moon characters in the game will like wave at you if you say their names into the mic.
Oh, that's so fun.
If you say cheap cheep, some cheap cheeps will pop out of the water. That's the little fish in Mario.
Wow.
Bunch of stuff like that. Super cool.
How many times do you have to say it for it to actually work, though?
That's what Reddit was saying. This game is very hit or miss with the microphone. Mario Party 7 had an 8-player mode. You would share a GameCube controller with someone else, 4 teams of 2. It would switch off each turn who gets to play the minigame, but there were also 8-player minigames, and so that would require one person to use L and the analog stick, and the other person would use the C stick and the R button.
No, sir.
Absolutely not. I could see it for little kids, but what are the chances 8 little kids are going to sit around and play Mario Party? I don't know.
No way.
But yeah, other times you'd be against all 7 players. Sometimes it would be 2v2v2v2. It sounds ridiculous, but it sounds fun to me. In Mario Party 6, the mic was used for 5 1 versus 3 minigames by the person that was on the one side. And then there were a couple of other game modes made specifically for the microphone. There's Speak Up, which is quiz. It's like a quiz or trivia game where you'd have to answer questions by answering into the mic. That's kind of crazy that the game was able to compute that back in 2005.
I know, that is crazy.
And then Star Sprint, which is a single-player game where you shout commands to get your character to carry a star to the goal while avoiding obstacles. That one sounds fun, but maybe not for one single person. I don't know.
Right.
And then in Mario Party 7, the mic was only used for 11 minigames. That's like a very small fraction. It's kind of crazy that they introduced the microphone for such a small portion of the game.
Yeah, well, one, that's kind of odd to include a microphone, but they also did the same thing with the Nintendo 64 with Hey You Pikachu. It's like, what a random thing to do.
Yeah. These games got a 71 and a 64 on Metacritic, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the complaints at this point were the games were just so similar to the last 5 entries, and I guess people were getting kind of bored. Apparently the mic kind of sucks, like I said, can be hit or miss. But still, Mario Party 6 sold 1.6 million, Mario Party 7 sold 2.1 million worldwide, so I don't know. We're going to talk about it, but it's totally... I think they're all pretty good. I think they're all like 7 or 8 out of 10 games, probably.
Right.
But it's just your experience, like you said. It's... I don't know, like how many people did you play with? Were you just playing against computers? It's and like which one did you grow up with? That's probably what it mostly matters for. Like if you're if you're a reviewer at IGN and you're like sitting here playing every one of these games for 7 years straight, yeah, you're gonna start giving lower reviews, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't play mine until high school, and I thought they were super fun. But then again, I was playing with friends. I wasn't playing by myself. So.
That's crazy. You went all those years of your life without Mario Party.
I honestly didn't even know it existed until I started actually collecting. And I'm a Nintendo 64 person, and I ain't never went over to anybody's house. My cousin didn't have it. I didn't have it. Never heard of it.
That's crazy.
Nobody on the playground was whispering about it.
Instead, you grew up with Kirby Air Ride.
I didn't even grow up with that, but love it so much.
You were playing shooting games. I was
not a GameCube child.
You were playing freaking 007 in your youth, right?
That's right. ATV games and 007 games, because I have an older brother, and that's whatever he got whatever he wanted. And I got the hand-me-downs.
Let's dive into the Wii era here. Mario Party 8 and 9. You play these?
Nope.
Okay. I think 8 was my personal first Mario Party, because I didn't have 3. I played the heck out of 3 with my cousin, and then I got 8 on the Wii. And so because of that, it's probably either 3 or 8 is my most played Mario Party. These
Okay.
games released in '07 and 2012, so we finally get like our first big gap from Hudson Soft. Uh, we'll talk about handhelds later, but after Mario Party DS, which also released in 2007 with Mario Party 8, Mario Party 9 didn't come out until freaking 2012. That's the
Wow.
longest gap between Mario Parties to date.
Probably much needed.
It probably was. They were probably getting stale, and they probably needed some time to figure out what the fans wanted. But it's kind of crazy because the Wii was an insanely popular console, and I'm sure people were ready for like 2009, 2010. I'm sure people were ready for a new Mario Party. I'm sure some of this is due to the fact that Hudson Soft got acquired by Konami around this time, but a lot of the Hudson Soft team that had worked on Mario Party ended up working at ND Cube. It wasn't a new company, but they hadn't made a new game in a few years. They are a subsidiary of Nintendo and went on to develop the rest of the Mario Party titles to this day. So, even though Hudson Soft has been dissolved into another mega corporation, most of the team, I don't know if it's most, but a lot of the Hudson team ended up sticking with Nintendo to continue making Mario Party games even to this year with Jamboree. So that's pretty neat.
That is really cool.
I think Hudson Soft got acquired 2011 or 2012. So I can't say that this gap was completely due to that, but it might have had an impact on that.
Is Hudson stuff like still around, or is it just not a name anymore? Just completely dissolved?
I'm pretty sure it's completely dissolved. When you see new Bomberman games, it's just Konami. There's no Hudson on it or anything.
Gotcha.
Which is a little sad.
It is sad.
So ND Cube's first game was actually back in 2001. It was F-Zero Maximum Velocity on the GBA. They would make other multiplayer games like Wii Party and Wii Play Motion. They made Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. And in more
Notoriously
recent years,
good games. Notoriously great games. Everyone's favorite.
Do people not like Wii Party?
I don't know, but the Wii Motion one wasn't a big seller, and certainly not Amiibo Festival.
I don't know anything about Wii Play Motion, but yeah, Amiibo Festival's trash apparently, and their more recent years, Everybody 1-2 Switch.
Oh no!
They assisted with
Rats.
development on that one. They don't get all the credit.
Okay.
And then obviously their latest game was Jamboree. Nah, they are now called Nintendo Cube, so they went from ND Cube to Nintendo Cube. So let's talk about single player and campaign type stuff in these two games. There was, in Mario Party 8, you had Star Battle Arena mode. Not very memorable. I do vaguely remember beating it. It was nice to unlock 2 new characters. You get freaking Hammer Bro and Blooper, if you can believe it.
Ooh, random.
Random but different. I like it. You just go through the boards playing 1v1 against a computer, and then you have to go 1v1 with Bowser at the end. There are a few exclusive mini games, but there's absolutely no reason you need to go experience this. Mario Party 9, nothing even to dive into here. It's pretty much the same as Mario Party 8 or any of the other weak story modes we've discussed. Fun facts, Mario Party 8 sold over 8 million units. So this thing was in production probably for 3 whole years while they were developing the next game. And 12th best-selling game on the Wii, which there's a lot of freaking Wii games. 12 out of 1,000 plus is pretty crazy. But it makes sense. That was the only Mario Party that people could play for 3 years. So maybe over 3 years.
Gosh.
It came to America before Japan, like almost
Ooh.
2 months before Japan, which is really crazy.
That's right. That's weird. Is it more popular over here or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because that's
how
a
popular.
trend.
Yeah.
It's a trend throughout all the other games. It's weird.
I found a post on VGFacts.com about Mario Party 8. The game was designed for 4:3 display, and only the title screens actually supported 16:9. And because of this, most of the game has like these custom borders on the edges of the screen so that they wouldn't be boring black bars. But this led to users complaining about burn-in on the screens after long periods of play. So the crazy thing is, this was apparently revised in later releases of the game. I'm not sure which regions got this version or like this revision, or if this is even like a true statement, but it's fascinating nonetheless. There are at least 3 North American variants of this game, so it's totally possible we got it here.
Wait, 3 variants? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, fun factoid. Didn't know that.
And then fun fact about Mario Party 9, it was the last Mario game to release on the Wii.
Dang, I can't believe the Wii only got 2.
Yeah, really. It's like they tried harder.
I feel like the Wii's lifetime was so long.
It was so long. They tried harder on the console that was less successful, right? They were like, all right, Hudson, we really need the GameCube sales to go up. Like, can y'all pump out a game every year for us?
Pump it out, man. Come on.
Reception and legacy. As usual, reviews are all over the place for 8, but the Metacritic score was 62. Pretty freaking low.
Okay.
Surprisingly, the reviews were actually pretty consistent for Mario Party 9. Like, this was the first one where I didn't see like a 3 and a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But almost everyone gave this game a 7 or an 8, and so the Metascore was a 73.
Not bad. We'll take it.
I'm thinking because of the 3-year span where Mario Party 8 was the only one on the console and how freaking popular the Wii was, it was probably one of the most played in terms of hours and people, if I had to guess. And then 9 could be like one of the least played because of how it came out less than a year before the Wii U, you know? Kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy. But you could play your Wii games on the Wii U, so maybe, who knows?
True.
But no one had a Wii U, so what am I thinking?
Very true. No one was playing their Wii in 2012, I feel like. I mean, I was. I'm a freaking weirdo. Right. I don't think the average person was.
Right. Definitely not me. I chunked it. I mean, I still have it, but like it collected dust for a very long time.
So that's Mario Parties 4 through 9. I'm going to take a break, and you can take us to the Wii U.
Now, the Wii U was everyone's favorite era. Let's just admit it. Everyone had a Wii U. Everyone bought one. It was glorious. But it's so strange that the Wii only got 2 Mario Party games, and that was like Nintendo's most successful console to date, besides the 3DS. And then the Wii U got 1, and it was the worst.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, you already talked about them, but it was developed by ND Cube and CA Production, which is, if you didn't know, short for Computer Artist Production. And then also very specific division of Nintendo called Nintendo Software Planning and Development Group Number 4.
So 3 developers worked on this?
I guess so. I don't know if they had a hand in like maybe just like the music portion of it or something like that, but it listed all 3 of those, so we're rocking with it. Released in 2015 for the Wii U, like I said. It's the 20th installment in the Mario Party series, if you count what you're going to talk about later. I don't want to spoil it, but you're going to talk about some stuff. It's included in that total. Characters in this one are Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Daisy, Rosalina, DK, Bowser, Toadette, and Spike. A little random there at the end, but cool nonetheless. The game has a standard party mode, Bowser party mode, and Amiibo party, which is everyone's favorite inclusion. The standard party mode, the players still compete to get the most mini stars. Yeah, but this time they're all traveling in one vehicle, which is like people's biggest gripe with the game. But this time everyone starts with mini stars, so it's like mini stars instead of regular stars. The players take turns being the captain of the vehicle, so you all kind of move as a group, but you all take turns like deciding where you go. And Bowser's Party, which I think is the coolest aspect of this game, and I'm kind of sad I won't get to play it. But one player controls Bowser using the gamepad, and up to 4 other players play on a team against him. So it's 4v1, and they use like Wii remotes. But the player gets to control him on the gamepad. The stars in this mode are replaced with hearts. The team's goal is to get to the superstar at the end, with at least 1 heart remaining between them. And Bowser's goal, obviously, is to deplete the other team of their hearts. So So it's pretty cool. The 4v1 aspect, I think, is super neat, especially with the inclusion of the gamepad. That looked really neat.
Yeah.
There's also Amiibo Party. Players can scan a playable amiibo and play on small boards designed for that character with up to 3 other amiibo figures. They're all the Mario specific ones. You can't play Zelda in this or like Wolf Link or anything like that. Just the Mario ones. Story mode, none. Which I think people didn't really enjoy either. There's things you can do single player, I think, but it's not like anything fleshed out like in the other games. Fun facts about it though, didn't know this. The cover arts for the Japanese version and the US version are almost exactly the same. Except the Japanese version has a white Wii U gamepad, whereas the US one has a black, because that reflects the basic set that were sold in each region.
Interesting.
Pretty cool. It's the first game in the series to receive a, which doesn't mean anything to us, but I thought it was interesting, a 7+ rating by PEGI as opposed to the usual 3+ rating.
Who let that happen?
I don't know. And for what? The 4v1? Beating up on Bowser? I don't know. Weird. It was the only Mario Party game to be given the violence icon by PEGI. I don't know where that violence is. Like I said, a lot of people like to crap on this game being included. Before I knew about the Bowser's Party mode, that sounds awesome. They said that party mode was, or the Amiibo Party mode was like too luck-based and didn't feel very fair. Or the regular party mode didn't feel very fair, which, it's Mario Party, nothing's fair, you know? Who knows why you get stars at the end? It's just whatever. Also, they said Amiibo Party was like super bare bones and like not even worth it. And it seemed like it was just a way to sell other amiibo, or honestly just to use them at all, because like they totally forgot they existed. So weird outside of Smash. But they liked the variety of the minigames and the Bowser Party mode, which I think was a big seller. It's the 10th best-selling game for the Wii U. Yay. With 2.26 million copies sold worldwide. It's also one of the only first-party titles to be stuck on the Wii U forever.
Literally forever. This game will never have a chance at any other platform.
It is just stuck there, which is unfortunate. And the best part about it was the gimmick with the Wii U gamepad. And we know that's not going anywhere. They're never going to remaster that or remake it or anything. They might like do maybe some of the mini games, but you'll never see that Bowser Party mode.
Hannah, you can't roast a game you've never played, bro.
You're right. And I don't know why I do. It's just somebody once told me, whispered in my ear to hate it, and I'm like, yeah, I need to hate this game forever.
I've never played it. Maybe someday, because mine's not bricked like yours. But
it's so sad.
Man, if I had this and you happen to be in Texas, that would be a fun thing to check out. Or maybe it'd be awful.
I gotta
Who knows?
The only reason I wanted this one on the Wii U is because it came bundled with an amiibo, which is my jam. We all know this. And it's the only one I don't have. Of all of the big box bundles with the amiibo, it's the only one I do not currently have.
Well, I think there's multiple. So you could have a Mario, a Bowser, a Peach. I think there's at least 3.
I definitely think there's more than one. I think Mario was like the most popular one. But even the Yoshi's Woolly World, Jesus, had 3 with the 3 different color Yoshis, and I have 2 of the 3.
Yeah, those were super cool, and I've probably mentioned this before, maybe, but I specifically remember Nintendo dropping the price on these brand new sealed amiibo bundles on eBay. Nintendo had an eBay, and they were $19.99 free shipping, and I didn't buy any of them.
I know. I remember doing that because they did the same thing for Toad Treasure Tracker. It was like $15, and I bought that one because I missed out on the other one. Like a dummy. Like an idiot.
They had so many good big boxes on the Wii U. Like, as a side topic here, the freaking Zelda ones were so with good. Wolf. Man.
Yes.
And that giant Mega Yarn Yoshi, I love that.
Yeah, missed out on that one too. Stupid. I'm an idiot. Why did I do that?
I forgot about Captain Toad though. That was a good game. I like that game.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
That's it.
So we've taken you through 1 through 10. We're going to save the Switch games for the end, but we have a lot of handhelds and other. We'll call them other. So the first non-console Mario Party that barely even counts as a game here is Mario Party E. Have you ever seen this before?
Nope.
I feel like I've seen it on like Instagram before, but I just thought, oh, we never got that here in America or something. It's for the Game Boy Advance e-reader. I'm just gonna briefly go through this thing, but the e-reader. I think a lot of people don't even know what the heck it is. It's something that went into the cartridge slot of the Game Boy Advance. You would get cards from various things like Pokemon cards or Animal Crossing cards. There were a lot of different cards that Nintendo put out for this device, and you would just scan it and something would happen on your screen, right? So you would have like, they would sell entire games. So one of the cheap gimmicky things that they did was like sell you old NES games, and so you would scan something like freaking I don't even have a good example, but like an old NES sports game, you would just scan the card and all of a sudden you can play the game on your handheld device. And that's what this is, except this was its own thing. You would go out and purchase Mario Party E. This big box had 64 cards inside. It had a playmat and a manual. You didn't even get the e-reader. You still had to purchase the e-reader separately.
Oh
no. It was exclusive to North America, which is mind-blowing. There was one promo card. This is the coolest thing about this. There was one promo card you could get only from GamePro magazine. And I had to look it up. This thing is insanely rare. Okay, there's 64 cards plus this one. It's the special bonus card, and it's a coin card, but don't be confused. There's a coin card that also came with the original 64. This is a special bonus card. I immediately want it so bad now.
Is it something you like sent in the mail, like requested it, or how'd you get it?
I didn't check. My assumption is that it was included with the magazine, and so everyone probably had it.
Oh.
And just like, what the heck is this? I don't have Mario Party E. Let me throw this in the garbage.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Right. I want this whole thing. I want Mario Party E just to have. It's over $100 because, of course, it is. Like I said, you still have to buy the e-reader. The goal is to acquire all 3 cards that represent Mario's outfit. You've got a card for his hat, his clothes, and his shoes. And the first to do that wins. So it's kind of like Go Fish in that sense, where you have to acquire pairs of stuff. Basically, there's cards that let you draw and take cards from other players. There's cards that let you battle them in mini games on the GBA to take some of their cards. In total, there were 11 mini games to play on the GBA screen. And there's a lot more to the game. I figured we didn't need a full synopsis. The funnest of fun facts here today that we're going to talk about is this is the only video game in history where you can play as Princess Daisy but not Peach.
Huh. Why?
Basically, the mini games assign you like a character to use, and so if it's like Wario's Gold Mine or some crap, I just made that up, but like you're going to play as Wario. And so there just isn't a mini game that revolves around Peach in this game, which is silly.
Dang, neglected.
But yeah, you're playing on a playmat while also doing things on the GBA, which is it's got to be a battery killer, right? Like you're just sitting there playing a board game and your console's just on or something. I don't know. But a neat idea. Probably a massive failure from Nintendo, if I had to guess.
Well, yeah. Wah.
Mario Party Advance. So the first real handheld Mario Party. This one came out in 2005, between 6 and 7. It is actually a game that focuses on the single player. So I don't know what they were thinking with this. Probably didn't need to exist, but okay. You travel through Shroom City, completing 50 quests given to you by NPCs in the game. You play mini games every 3 turns, and you permanently unlock them for use in other game modes, and that's pretty much it. The regular old party mode from every other Mario Party is missing from this game.
No.
The game came with a physical playmat that you could use to go alongside the video game if you wanted to do some multiplayer action without needing a link cable. But the board is literally a piece of paper that they threw in the box, like a laminated piece of paper.
I was about to say, that's really cool, and then you ruined it.
A select few minigames could be played via link cable and multiple consoles, and I believe you only needed one cartridge, so that was cool.
Yep, that's a theme.
And then, yeah, this was the lowest scoring Mario Party to date. It has a 54 on Metacritic.
Oh, shame. That sounds pretty neat.
It is surprising to me that they didn't include some way for this game to connect to Mario Party 6, like Four Swords Adventure style, you know? It is interesting.
Yeah, it feels like that's a miss.
That's all I got.
Okay, moving right on to another game you probably think shouldn't exist. It's Mario Party DS. Developed by Hudson Soft and CA Production and Nintendo SPD Group Number 4, because of course. Came out 2007 for the DS. It is the 14th Mario Party game, but the third for handhelds. And it's the only one on DS, which, again, surprising considering how many copies... how many systems...
Units, yeah.
Yes, units the DS sold. It's the last game to be developed by Hudson Soft. The other titles were developed by NDQ, blah, 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 blah. It's the only handheld Mario Party game to feature the traditional Mario Party gameplay. So we're back. They heard the complaints about Advance, and bam, they fixed it with DS.
Which is good, because I feel like so many, like you just said, this thing sold so many freaking units, and on top of that, you just could use wireless. You didn't have to go buy a freaking accessory to connect your consoles.
Yes, I own this game, and it wasn't even on purpose. I own like six copies of this game.
Whoa.
It came with like every DS bundle ever.
Wow.
It's crazy. Of course, it's on the DS, so it features games that use the touchscreen controls, the microphone. Hey, the microphone comes back around, and all the other ones. And utilizes, obviously, the dual screens. It's kind of like the big selling point. Also possible for up to 4 players to play in wireless mode using one cartridge, which is so freaking neat of them to do. Like, why don't they do that now with the Switch? And this they do.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. There is a story mode, though, single-player mode, where the player plays through 5 boards. They win a battle royale and defeat a boss on each board to progress. 10 turns in each board, and the gameplay is similar to the other Mario Party games. Bonus stars are not rewarded at the end of the board, so no unfair favoritism. If the CPU wins the board, they attempt to face the boss and will lose, so the player will have to play that board again. Classic. After you beat it, the expert difficulty for CPUs is unlocked, which is neat. And the little fun factoid for the collectors, this is the last Nintendo published Super Mario game to use the signature red Nintendo logo on the cover and packaging.
That's an interesting fact.
And Mr. Iwata himself was one of the game's executive producers. Also fun. Like we said with all the other games, received mixed to positive reviews. Didn't really seem like reviewers were super impressed with the game, but honestly, being able to play a freaking Mario Party game on the go with your friends seems pretty neato, especially when you only need one cartridge. I don't see what their damage was. Maybe just the same kind of gameplay, nothing really like stirred it up a little bit. Then following that, we have Mario Party Island Tour, which honestly, totally forgot about it. Couldn't even told you it was a thing.
Kind of crazy.
Came out in the US first in 2013, and then pretty much the rest of the world in 2014. So woo, go US, we got it first. This one's on the 3DS, developed by NDQ and Nintendo SPD Group Number 4. They stayed around for a while. Rather than traveling on a board to collect the most coins and stars like other Mario Party games, though, players need to race their opponents to the finish line on a linear one-way board. So it takes all of the decision-making out of it. Each board has a certain objective. It does have things in common with the other Mario Party games, though, namely obtaining and using items to gain an advantage over your opponents, and of course, playing minigames. So they still have that in common. Since the game is on the 3DS, it takes advantage of the system features, including the stereoscopic 3D, the gyroscope, the microphone, AR abilities, and the touchscreen.
I love it.
And it's also one of the games that uses Street Pass. which I never got to use, where players can play mini games with other systems and they can unlock special items, which I thought was cool.
Very cool.
Story mode, it does have story mode. It's called Bowser's Tower. The player needs to progress up a tower by completing mini games. The games get harder and harder as the player travels up the tower, and then eventually you beat up Bowser at the very end. Fun facts, I got nothing. This one's just not fun. Just kidding, I don't know. Actually, I do know. The game didn't review very great. People said it was fun if you didn't play it alone and you could enjoy it with friends. But they said the mini games were uninventive and the gimmicks didn't just quite do it for them. Didn't quite make them enjoyable. I know. They also said the game was just too short and it lacked online play. So.
How was DS received? Did you have the Metacritic written down?
No, I don't have the Metacritic.
That's
Mixed
okay.
to positive reviews is what the interwebs said. But not an exact score on that one. Yep. And following that is Mario Party Star Rush, which again, couldn't have told you that was a thing.
Yeah.
Developed by NDCube, CA Productions, came out in 2016. Second Mario Party game on the 3DS. Gameplay is a little bit different than the other Mario Party games that came before it. The main mode of this game is called Toad Scramble. Instead of selecting various Mario characters to play as, everyone is a different color Toad. So, I don't know why. Movement is also different. So instead of like a linear board game, they can go left, right, up, down, or whatever. The game is now like a grid. So think like strategy RPG or tactical RPG. You can kind of move around in any direction as long as it equals whatever you rolled. That's kind of interesting. And also, all players move at once during a player's turn. So kind of similar to like the vehicle thing, but it's like a grid. I don't know. They really tried to mix it up with this one. Story mode, none. There's a cool game, though, called Challenge Tower, which is basically 3D Minesweeper. So you're kind of like traveling around a tower, and there's like bombs, and it'll show you a red space if there's a bomb adjacent to it, or a yellow space if there's one close, or whatever. That's pretty cool. I can't remember, I should have written it down, the exact delineations. There's beginner, easy, medium, and then like expert mode. It's like 10 floors, 30 floors, 50 floors, and then expert mode has like 500 floors that you have to travel up, which is crazy. So, super, super fun tower. There's also like a random rhythm game, if that's like your thing. A smaller, more traditional Mario Party experience with Mario characters on the board, traditional minigames, blah, 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 but it's like smaller. A game that incorporates various amiibo, but there's no like fleshed out single player mode. Fun facts. I did know this. There's a version of the game called Mario Party Star Rush Party Guest, which was a free download on the eShop. Anyone can download it. It allowed the game to be played multiplayer between 4 people with only 1 cartridge, but you had to like download it separately. And as I think about it, I think it said that anybody can download this and you can play like a very small select amount of mini games. Like it was almost kind of like a demo also. So you didn't even have to own the game.
Wow, that's gone. You can't even do that anymore. That's pretty crazy.
Yep, but I think if you still have it downloaded, you still can, obviously.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, the Smash Bros. Did something similar. I had a friend who might or might not listen to this, but he religiously played Smash with the 2DS. You could download a software on your 3DS or 2DS and use it as a controller to play on the Wii U.
What?
Yeah.
Huh. Dang. I'm sure he tore that 2DS up. That poor thing. It's like, let me die. Dang, he's had to match those buttons so hard? That's crazy.
Right.
That is wild. I've literally never heard of anybody doing that. Could you see it on the 2DS screens too,
could
or
not.
what? Oh, it was just blank screens?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
That's
wild.
borderline psychopathic. Let's see. Critics liked that the main mode took on a new direction with the Toads, but they stated that there wasn't a ton of mini games, especially ones that they liked. They liked that 4 people could play with 1 cart, blah, 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 blah. We already did that. I did look at some of the reviews and ratings from people, and they said that Star Rush had like the most amount of things to do as a single player, and that it's one of the best 3D Mario Party games. But like the single player didn't seem like super traditional. So it seemed like just random kind of games that you could play. I don't know. I've never played it, so I wouldn't know. But interesting. Some people are like, yeah, this is the best game on the 3DS. Best Mario Party game on the 3DS.
It is like, it's a tough thing to do, I imagine, to like make a good single player Mario Party,
Mm-hmm.
because no one's buying Mario Party to play by themselves, and yet it's a handheld which is meant for one person. It's like a tough balancing act there, I think, and I mean, I can't imagine this sold anywhere near as good as the freaking console versions.
No, definitely not. Then the last one on the 3DS is Mario Party The Top 100, which I do remember coming out. I was like, that's random. But alas, here we are. It came out first in the US November of 2017, then everywhere else in December 2017. It's the third and final Mario Party title on the 3DS, developed by the same people we've already talked about a million times, yeah. Unlike other Mario Party games, the draw of this one is that it's just a big compilation of mini games from previous games. So the games have been updated, better graphics, sound, controls, etc., whatever to make the game more enjoyable and playable on the 3DS. The game does not have any new minigames, so it's all previously released stuff. There are 7 game modes. 100 minigames can be played from the start, so you don't have to buy them, you don't have to unlock them, anything like that. There's a board experience in this game called Mini Game Match, where you pop balloons instead of collecting stars. It sounds super interesting. There's also amiibo support, so yeah, don't ask me what they do because I don't remember. There is kind of a story mode, Minigame Island, which we've talked about before. Similar to other titles, you travel across 4 different worlds and compete with other Mario characters and minigames and battles. So not super exciting there. Fun facts, though. The game was released just 2 months after it was announced, which means it has one of the shortest announcement to release timelines of the entire Super Mario series.
Nice.
Cool. It's the only game since Mario Party DS to not have any unlockable characters. Also, doesn't introduce any new characters into the series. Many of the minigames don't retain their original music, which I thought was weird. So it reuses music from like other minigames in the game, but it doesn't have the original stuff, which I thought was weird. And also, this fun fact is stupid, but like it was there, and I just feel like I had to mention it because it was mentioned. The main font in the game is Rowdy. Like, what a random ass fact. Just in case you're a font person.
Thanks, Mario Wiki.
Yeah, right? People enjoyed the game for the nostalgia factor. Being able to play some of their favorite mini games all in one place, all in one game and on the go was a big draw. They liked seeing them have a fresh coat of paint, and they liked the easy grab and go nature. So if you only have 15 minutes to play, but you want to play some mini games, you pick up, play 3 or 4, then you can put it back down. No big deal. They liked that about it. They didn't like some of the minigame choices, though. That's a good point. Like, how did Nintendo know that these were the top 100? Or do they just pick easy ones that they could, redo and put on the 3DS? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How do they know that?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's never even crossed my mind. I was like, oh yeah, these are definitely the top 100, but no, they have no data to decide that.
Nope. How would they? The only console that could give them data on that potentially is Mario Party 10, and 7 people played that, so unless they polled people, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know why, but this one always fascinated me. Like, the top 100 sounds awesome, but the more we talk about these handheld ones, I'm just like, man, I don't want to play Mario Party by myself.
They suck. Yeah.
I kind of want to experience Advance. Probably just because I have it. I think it'd be cool to check it out for an hour, but I don't want to experience the full story mode of that game.
No, I was thinking if I were to pick up one of the handhelds, it'd probably be Mario Party DS. That one sounds the best.
It would be a blast to play with someone else. And I just checked, I don't even have Mario Party DS, so don't bring it to Texas when you come.
Oh, dude, I can bring you a copy.
Oh, now we're talking.
Copy.
You know what? I might even have the case and manual for it. That's funny. Really? I'll have to check. All right, I'm gonna freaking teach y'all something, because I know 0 people listening to this knew that there were Mario Party arcade games, and there were 7 of them. So the first one is Doki Doki Mario Chance! ! It was released in 2003, developed by band Presto, who I think we talked about during our War Games. We didn't do a War Games episode. We did something with mechs and stuff, I think.
Yeah, the Gundams.
Yes, I think they did those games or something like that. We've talked about Band Presto like in 2024. Anyways, they this one doesn't really count as like a video game. It is a mechanical roulette machine. It's Japan exclusive. Images are pretty freaking scarce online. I couldn't even find a video of someone playing it.
Dang.
The only real link this has to the Mario Party series is a couple of small Mario Party 4 logos plastered on the machine. So, like, this is really not Mario Party, but whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so that's number one. The rest of these are actually pretty cool. They're all developed by Capcom, which is wild. Because it's like, it's such a long stretch that Nintendo has trusted one company with the Mario Party arcade series, right? Like, it's Capcom from 2004 to 2016.
Dang. What a gap.
So, the first one is called Super Mario Fushigi no Korokoro Party, which translates apparently to Super Mario Rolling Party of Mystery.
Lovely.
2004, a year later, and this is a massive 6-player cabinet, and there are some crappy 240p videos of it on YouTube from 14 years ago, but shout out to preservationists. I'm glad that we can at least see it. I'm not sitting through 20 minutes of video to explain this to y'all, but essentially there is a roulette spinning with different colored balls that probably correlate to each player. It's all in Japanese, so I don't know. But once a ball lands in the roulette picker thing, you look at the screen and something happens. I think a mini game of sorts is played between the roulettes. Don't know. You can watch the video in 240p resolution if you want. This game got a sequel, Super Mario Rolling Party of Mystery 2, the following year, 2005. Despite it being a direct sequel, it is absolutely nothing like the first game. Once again, is a massive machine. This time it's one of those coin pusher games. You know, the ones from like...
Ooh.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's definitely a lot more in-depth than the lame coin pushers that you see at Dave & Buster's here in America. There's actually a screen that shows you playing on a Mario Party board, and stuff happening on the screen will affect what your prize is. Super cool.
That's exciting.
It reminds me of like a pinball machine, like a modern pinball machine where you're playing pinball, but then also like something happens and then you have to look at the screen for a little bit and make some selections and stuff, and it's pretty cool.
That's fun. It's really fun.
Again, not going to go too into detail, but you can actually watch a very in-depth 25-minute video from Kodomoyo's Japanese Metal Game channel. All right?
Shout out.
That's literally the name of the YouTube channel. There's English subtitles explaining everything about the game. Freaking preservationist, dude. Kodomoyo's Japanese Metal Game channel. So, what I learned from this YouTube channel is that this is a very popular arcade style in Japan. They love their coin pusher games, I guess. Maybe Capcom just makes a lot of them over there, and that's why they're the ones who've been doing it for Nintendo for 12 years. But yeah, the next game we're going to talk about, and most of the ones we're going to talk about here, this next one is Mario Party Mysterious Rolling Catcher, released in 2009. It is another coin pusher, except this time there are also balls thrown in there with the coins, and there's a claw machine aspect where you can pick up the balls to make certain things happen. Same YouTube channel has another amazing in-depth video explaining it all. They literally set up multiple cameras while they played the game to have multiple views at once. It is incredible.
That's really cool.
The fifth game here, we have Mario Party Kuru Kuru Carnival. Mario Party Spinning Carnival, released in 2012. Oh, does Kuru Kuru mean spinning? That's cool.
Sure does.
I get it now.
Kuru then. Yeah.
Came out in 2012. It's again a coin pusher game with a screen. Looks pretty similar to the last few. Unfortunately, did not see this one on Kodomoyo's channel. Slacking.
Dang.
Mario Party Fushigi no Korokoro Catcher 2. Released in 2013. Yet another one with plenty of footage on YouTube. Yeah, Kotomoyo said that Japan's metal games are like very deep and there's like over 1,000 in this genre, which is insane.
God, we're missing out over here, man. I'm sad.
Those are fun too. Like I enjoy those.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, Mario Party Challenge World. Now this one gets interesting. This was a Japan exclusive, and I don't know what happened, but apparently it was never officially released in America, and yet you can actually find prototypes of it in some arcades, like hooked up and playable.
Ooh, we need to track down that arcade. We need to go. Yeah, we do. I bet it's in Texas.
So I found one. Well, hang on, let me get there. This was going to be released by Raw Thrills, which we know from the cruising games. But if you like walk around a Dave & Buster's or a modern arcade of some sort, you'll see Raw Thrills all over the place. They're just like one of the few companies that's actually still in the business of doing this. And so this one was going to be handled by them. Apparently this version of the game is super different from the Japanese release. So it's not just like a direct port that never got released. Like you play this prototype and there are some major differences, which is super cool. There is a 45-minute video of this kid who looks like he's like 13 playing it in a California arcade. So you can go and play this in California, apparently.
Dang it, California. Too far.
Literally the polar opposite side of the country for you.
Yeah, really.
The game is complete and fully playable in English. I'm not sure why they didn't ship it. It supports up to 6 players, has a large screen in the center. As far as collecting, this is one of the rare piece of Nintendo. This is one rare piece of Nintendo hardware, man. How cool is this crap?
That is so cool.
So I would love to experience that someday.
Dang, we are so missing out over here. I want a freaking coin pusher. I mean,
yeah.
I get happy when it's like fucking rolled up tickets or some shit, or like a stupid Captain America card and you can redeem it for 25. That's fun. These are amazing.
Yeah, you should check out some gameplay. They're pretty neat.
Dang, man.
Let's move into the Switch now. Everyone knows there's 3. Maybe you don't know. There are 3 Mario Parties on the Switch now. For the longest time, we had just Super Mario Party, and that released in 2018. This game got a Metacritic score of 76. Very solid. Very, very solid for the series.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually the best rated since Mario Party 2 at the time.
Huh. Look at it go.
I've played a lot of this game. I know you have too. It was the only Mario Party for a long time there. I don't even remember all of my issues with this game. You could go back like 40 episodes and you could hear me ranting about it, I'm sure. I think I got it Christmas of 2018, and the issues I remember with this game were like the boards are the worst part of this game. They are incredibly small. And I like small in terms of like how many actual spaces you can travel. You will go round and round the boards on this game so many times in a 15 turn playthrough. It's super lame.
Yeah, boring.
And on top of that, there were only 4 boards. That sucks. Not a major thing, but like, why was there no online play for this game? Nintendo, come on, bro.
Yeah, they fixed it later on, but it was like the biggest pain point people have with this game.
It took 3 years and they updated it and they were like, hey, here's that online play in a free DLC for you.
We've been working on it this whole time.
And then my other gripe was that, do you remember the trailer where they would advertise the ability to like set multiple handheld switches on a surface and you could connect
with the
them?
tank things?
Yes. That crap looked so cool to me, and then there were like barely any mini games that actually utilized that.
I know.
And then, like, on top of that, those mini games sucked. So that was disappointing for me personally.
Yeah.
What I do remember about this game is they got the mini games right. Like, the mini games were pretty freaking good. I had a blast, and they utilized the freaking motion controls and everything that the Joy-Cons could do. You played this game with one Joy-Con. which they intentionally did so that everyone would have access to the motion, or I guess that's it, just the gyro. I feel like they also utilized the what do you call that? Like the 3D touch or something. The HD rumble, I think, was utilized a little bit.
Yep.
So that was cool. I love the gimmicky stuff. And I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a bad game. Those were my gripes with the game. I had a great time with it. It could have been a lot better, but for 2018 to 2021 or 2022 or whatever, whenever I finally got a new Mario Party, it did the job. It was enough to keep me and my friends busy whenever I had 3 people over. It was enough to get some laughs out of us and just have a good time because the mini games were great.
Yeah, I agree. I think this one, me and my roommate used to play this one a lot, and she's like not a gamer at all, but she like got this one. She's like, yeah, this is easy. We can do this.
And this one, along with Mario Party 8, probably got an insane amount of playtime because the Switch, best-selling freaking console of all time at this point, and it's a popular game. I didn't write down how many it sold, but I'm sure it was several million.
Oh my god, yeah. Double digits millions.
There's a single-player mode. It's called Challenge Road that I've personally never played. Have you played it?
Nope.
You play through 80 minigames trying to accomplish certain goals, like finishing a minigame in a certain time limit or whatever. But you can unlock Diddy Kong and Pom Pom this way. So, didn't know that. I'm missing 2 characters.
Oh, I also didn't know that.
If you don't know who Pom Pom is, I didn't either. She is one of the Koopalings.
Oh. Didn't know that.
Take us into Mario Party Superstars.
Sure. So, Mario Party Superstars, it is the 25th overall installment of the Mario Party series, if you count the arcade games, which I can say now. It is the 12th home console game, Mario Party game. It has 100 minigames from past games in the series, apparently a lot from the Mario Party Top 100 game, which I didn't know, which is unfortunate. So if you bought that game, it's like, oh, it's the same game. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And 5 boards from the Nintendo 64 Mario Party game, so that's why I like it so much. Received a worldwide release on December 29th, 2021. Birdo makes a comeback in this title as a playable character.
Birdo.
Which is interesting. And all modes are available to play online. Woo!
Heck yeah.
It's that traditional Mario Party board game play style, plus being able to play any minigame you want in the Mount Minigames thing, which is like the whatever, it's your compendium of minigames. Story mode, I don't think there is one. I think there are things that you can do as a single player, but why would you want to? It's the first Super Mario game published by Nintendo on one of their consoles to be officially localized into Brazilian Portuguese. How specific.
Nice.
Received a lot of 8 and 9s out of 10s. Critics, well, actually 8 out of 10s, not 9. Critics said it was a return to form for the series. It mixed old gameplay mechanics with the new controls and the new visuals, and they really appreciated that. They liked the online play, obviously, and it was really simple to do. It was easy. It wasn't like some convoluted, you gotta add it on the app and do this doodly-doo and then enter friend code. Nothing like that. Super easy. The thing they criticized the most, though, was it really didn't add anything new. It was just kind of like the same stuff over and over and over again. The same minigames from some of the same minigames from the top 100, which is unfortunate. But I played it. I liked it. I liked it better than Super Mario Party, and I enjoyed that one, so.
Do you have it?
I do. Yeah, me and my friends and actually their parents played. It was fun. It's fun for all ages. I don't remember a single minigame, but I remember them being fun, if that makes sense.
I have this game as well. I didn't get it at launch, and I don't even remember, I think it was a gift or something, but I didn't get it when it came out, so it's kind of crazy to me that it's been out for 3 years already. But this is a solid game. It is just a compilation, but it does everything right, and I think it came out at the right time because people are just so nostalgic for everything, and they're constantly like, please just remaster this and port this and that.
Yep.
And this did that. This gave everyone the GameCube and N64 stuff that they loved. I love that it shows you where the game came from. That is a cool feature.
I agree.
It shows you where the mini game came from. And yeah, they brought the boards back from the old games. Like, good decision to basically make a Mario Party compilation. I like it a lot.
I agree. And they use some of the best boards from like the whole entire series.
Yeah.
The Nintendo 64 ones, they're great. So moving right along to our final one, it is the newest Mario Party release. It's Mario Party Jamboree. It is, obviously came out on the Switch, came out literally just a month ago on October 17th. It is a successor to Super Mario Party, but the gameplay is more similar to Superstars. So it goes Super Mario Party, then Mario Party Superstars, and then Mario Party Jamboree. But it's the sequel to the one before that, if that makes sense. So there was a weird compilation in between. Anyway, the game includes both new and returning boards with over 110 minigames and 22 playable characters. 22!
That's crazy.
There are 2 new characters in this one, Ninji and Pauline, which are both unlockable. The game features Pro Rules, which is essentially a hard mode, several other game modes besides just the plain board game and the mini game map. There's a mechanic called the Jamboree Buddies, which is new, kind of new. It's kind of a revision of a mechanic that we saw earlier. When you run into one on the board, a buddy, a character, whatever, you can recruit them to help you. They have some kind of ability that gives you some sort of advantage, and they last for 3 turns, and they can be stolen. So it's kind of a cool thing if you have those. Bosses make a comeback in this game for the first time since Star Rush. They can be encountered in various modes in the game. There is a story mode, and it's called, for whatever reason, Party Planner Trek, which is just hard to say, but I nailed it. You traverse the boards as a single player, interact with NPCs, collect items, and beat bosses. Pretty basic. You collect mini stars from playing, obviously, the mini games and completing whatever the NPC wants you to do. And when you collect enough, you move on to the next board. Fun fact, though, it also marks the debut of Kevin Afghani, I believe that's his name, as the voice of Waluigi. So he also voices Mario, Luigi, and Wario, but this is the first time he voices Waluigi.
Nice.
And as far as I can tell, people love this game. It's become the highest scoring entry in the series on Metacritic since the original game. So it's got an 82 out of 100. Scored a lot of 9s out of 10s across various magazines and reviewing sites. People like it. They like the Jamboree Buddies. They like the Pro Rules. I think they added kind of new gameplay aspects that make it feel a little bit fresher while still like returning to form for the series.
I think Super Mario Party had buddies, right?
I think it did, but I can't remember. But this is like a better version of that.
Yeah, I think that is like a fun feature. I really like that. Any plans to pick it up?
I think maybe sometime down the road. I don't really need it because I have the 2 previous ones. Yeah. Nothing here really makes me want to buy it, but maybe if it's like $20, $30 on sale or something, maybe one day, yeah.
I honestly haven't even played like 5 games of Mario Party Superstars yet. Like, I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of that game, even though it's just a compilation. Like, I have not played all of 1 through 7's minigames, so I'm with you. I'm in the same boat. I think I'll get it eventually, but for now, I'm good with Mario Party Superstars.
Agreed. Definitely agreed.
But if y'all have played it, let us know what you think.
And then, let's see, the last thing I have here is just you kind of mentioned a lot of these earlier, but just a little fun fact about Hudson Soft. They also developed Fusion Frenzy 2 for Microsoft on the Xbox 360, which we didn't know about, and they didn't work on the first one. That was Blitz Games, I think. So they were just all over the party genre. They're like synonymous with it.
Yeah, and I think we found out that they also did Sonic Shuffle, which was a Dreamcast Mario Party knockoff.
That didn't sell nearly as well.
That's right, I said it, Dreamcast fans. I don't like that game at all.
They're coming after you.
All right. Let's talk about our personal favorites here. So I wrote, we can kind of alternate, I guess, but I honestly, I swear that they just don't make mini games like they used to. Maybe Jamboree's better, but they were so much more fun back in Mario Party 3. And that being said, some of these picks might be nostalgia speaking, but let me give you my first one. You've played Mario Party 3, you said?
Yep.
You've played all the N64 ones. The Beat Goes On.
Remind me which one that one is.
It's basically Simon Says. It's like there's a bunch of tiki torches around, and like there's a shy guy that's dressed all like, I don't even know how to describe it, but Simon Says memory game where you have to like play the music back by pushing the correct buttons on the controller in the right order on beat with the music.
Yep.
It's a quality mini game, and it's very difficult.
That's a good one.
What do you got?
So the one that I remember the most, and I think we talk about all the time, is from Super Mario Party, and it's the meat flipping one. So you have like a square piece of meat in the frying pan, and you have to flip the frying pan so that the meat cooks evenly on every side. And I don't know why, but that one is just so fun to me.
That one does stick out in my head a lot. That's pretty solid. It's like a cube steak.
Yeah, exactly.
From Mario Party 3, Pop Gun Pick-Off. This is just a game where you shoot Koopa Kids and try not to shoot the toads peeking out of windows on a building. Super fun. Nothing crazy, but pretty good.
See, I don't have any of the names of all these. I just remember the games.
That's fine.
But and I don't remember what series they came from either. I think this one is from Mario Party Superstars, I think. It's the one where you get like a picture of like a toad or like a star or a mushroom or a star or whatever, and you have to like trace it out. You're on like a drill, and you have to keep going around. That one's fun.
Nice. Vine with Me, also from Mario Party 3. This one is just like a vine swinger where you have to jump from swinging vine to swinging vine and get to the end the fastest. It like gives DK vibes, but yeah, you're just swinging through a jungle, and it's a race, and it's great.
That one's fun. The other one I remember is, oh man, when you have to like, everyone's in a row, and you have to sort the balls based on whatever tube that you're under. So it's like a basketball or a tennis ball or a softball. And so it's kind of like collaborative. And you have to be really, really quick with it. You have to pass it from each player to the player to get to the right thing.
Oh, okay. TikTok Hop is just like a very good duel mini game where you basically play jump rope to jump over a clock's hands as they change speeds and directions. Yeah, that one is tough. It's also from Mario Party 3. Was that your last one?
Yeah.
So this one is probably pretty popular. I think a lot of people have like good memories of this one. Eats a Pizza. It's a 2v2 mini game that has you eating freaking pizza the most and as fast as you can with your partner. I don't know, who doesn't love pizza? This one always made me want to eat a giant pizza like this with no hands. Like
that's fun.
All of the battle mini games in Mario Party 3 like were so freaking good. There was Merry Go Chomp, which was strictly luck based, but it was just still so much fun. It's got to be nostalgia speaking because no luck-based minigames are fun, but I really enjoyed that one. Mario Party 5, there was Coney Island. I didn't play Mario Party 5, so this must have been a Superstars play for me because, yeah, you catch ice cream cones, or you catch ice cream scoops while holding your ice cream cone, and so it just stacks up higher and higher, and you have to get the tallest ice cream cone. Simple fun. Super Mario Party, shout out to Slapperazzi, the game where you have to smack the heck out of your friends in an effort to be the center of the picture being taken. There's just like a Koopa that has a camera, and it is so much freaking fun. That's a great one.
I got another one. There's one where it's like a storybook or whatever, and there's like different shapes cut out, and each page falls down. You'd have to get in the one that's not going to crush you. That's a good one because you can also smack people out of the way.
That is a good one. I love smacking people. It's just such a good feeling in Mario Party.
Agreed. Jumping on them, kicking them off.
Final thoughts. I think, like I said earlier, I really doubt any mainline games are bad. You know, maybe Mario Party 10, but like your personal preference is just going to be the one you grew up with. It's just like everybody's favorite Zelda, right? It's like, oh, if you grew up in the 90s, you love Ocarina of Time. If you grew up in the 2000s, you're probably a Twilight Princess or Wind Waker guy, like whatever. I do think they're all such similar games. It would be incredibly easy to get worn out, like I said, with the IGN reviewer. If you're on the fifth entry of playing all these freaking mini games and it's the same recipe over and over, of course it's going to get boring.
Right.
Or stale. Maybe not boring, but a little stale. They're not all like some groundbreaking experience, you know. So they are very similar, but it's you know what you're getting yourself into. I really don't know anyone that has sat down and played every Mario Party, especially not like in depth.
I've also never met anyone where they're like, oh my god, Mario Party is my favorite series.
Right, know? Yeah. That's very true. Everyone just likes it. No one's like obsessed with it.
Right. It's just supplemental gaming.
I think it would be fun to mix it up every time I have a game night. Like, you know, one night we play 2 and the next time we play 7, because why the heck not?
Why wouldn't you?
And we already talked about reviews are all over the place for these games. It's just different experiences. Were you trapped in a room trying to get a review done for 20 hours, or did you play with friends? Yeah.
Right.
Overall, I'm a big fan of Mario Party. It is some really fun supplemental gaming. It is pretty much the go-to, unless you're me. Like, my household is pretty big on Bomberman, but like for the most part, Mario Party is the go-to when you have 2 to 3 other people over. It's just so easy. You don't have to be a gamer. You don't have to ever have played video games in your life. It's just a pick up and play game. It's perfect for parties.
Agreed. It just, you have to set aside quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
I mean, in most games you can set rounds, but I don't think in the early ones you can. I think it's all just like 20 rounds, 20 rounds, 20 rounds.
Any other final thoughts?
Super fun. No. Are you going to determine which one is your favorite, or did you already say it's probably 3?
Yeah, it's definitely 3. You?
I think mine's probably 2.
Yep. It's the one we grew up with.
Yep, it's the best.
We have listeners' responses, and I think we usually do Instagram first. Let's do Discord first tonight.
Yeah, go for it.
We asked what y'all's favorite Mario Party was, and we got some good responses on ye olde Discord. So, Daily Beating, I always have such a tough time really differentiating any of them, to be honest. They all blend together so much in my silly little head, but Mario Party 5 had a side mode, we talked about this, where you make these battle cars and drive around and blow each other up or something like that, and that mode was always very nostalgic to me, so let's go with 5.
That's funny. Yeah, nice.
All these responses are like that. It's like, yeah, this is probably my favorite. Like, they're just all the same. Bitsy Link, probably Mario Party 8. I don't really have a specific reason besides it being the most fun to play with friends. Note, I haven't played the N64 or GameCube Mario Parties. Missing out on the best, probably. Mario Party 2 from X Button Gaming. He says, it's probably my personal favorite. It's a very nostalgic, heavy pick, since it's the one I played the most as a kid. My friends and I would have some long sessions and get super competitive back in the day. Great map selection and mini games were on point too. Shout out to Shell Shocked and Crazy Cutters. I have to give a shout out to Jamboree though. I played it this last week with some friends and it was without a doubt the most fun I've had playing a new Mario Party game in a long time. Lots of great updates and the maps are awesome.
That almost makes me want to buy it.
Yeah, that's a solid $30 pickup right there. No, I'm kidding. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear good things about Jamboree.
Me too.
My favorite, Dan Evil Robot, my favorite is still Mario Party 7 on Nintendo GameCube. I grew up playing pretty much all the Mario Party games, sadly by myself. I had no friends to play with me back in the day, but for whatever reason, I like Mario Party 7 more. That is so sad, Dan.
Aww.
It was a better and perfectly paced, and I wish I can go more into detail. Basically, I find the previous Mario Party games, some of the animation add-ons were slow, or the controls were frustrating. It hurts my thumb, or use my hand to move the joystick. He said, "No, I didn't get a blister on some of the mini games." And he mentioned the Mario Party 7 featuring the microphone, but you didn't really need it.
Mm-hmm. Good choice.
That's it. Thank you guys for answering on Discord. What do you have on Instagram?
So I got 3 responses over here. Guess Mario Party's not that favorite of a series. Anyway, we got Scientia Games says Mario Party DS. So somebody out there likes that one.
Wow. Very wow.
And the Church of Moomin agrees with you and says 3 is the best.
Let's go.
And then lastly, we have Mortar Bros says Mario Party 8, controversial for its motion controls, but it's the first appearance of Koopa Tycoon Town.
There were some good maps on Mario Party 8. We didn't even talk about the maps in most of these, but I definitely enjoyed the maps. I remember a Boo one being like very, very cryptic and like you never know where you're going to end up, like an actual Boo's house in Mario games. That was pretty good. Pretty good maps in 8.
The cake one is pretty good. That's probably one of my favorites. And then also where it has like the day and night mechanic. It's like, oh, things change depending on if it's the day or the night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like the event stuff that happens in the games.
Makes it more exciting.
Thanks for writing in, guys. We appreciate all your responses.
Absolutely. Every month.
Every month. As long as we remember. That's Mario Party. So we're going to give away a copy of Mario Party Jamboree. Once again, that will be at the end of the year. So basically, you have until the 22nd to get your entries in. All you have to do, as a reminder, is review, or not review. All you have to do is rate the podcast. So it takes about 4.5 seconds of your life to go and do something really generous for us that'll help this podcast grow. And in return, you might win a copy of Mario Party Jamboree, a game that you probably don't own on the Nintendo Switch.
Heck yeah. Let's get it.
And that's it. Let's talk about some news. And I know you only have like one thing, so let me hear it.
I have 2 things. Thank you very much. Nintendo came out with a music app called Nintendo Music. You can download it now. It's got some of the music from their biggest games like Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3, and more are being added over time. So it was super random. I checked it out. I was playing some of the Breath of the Wild music, and it's literally like, some of the songs are like 15 seconds. Like 25 seconds. It's like, that's great. Love it. But it basically just looks like Spotify, but it's like random battle music from fighting a Talus. 35 seconds. Mwah.
I love it. It's not so much the 15-second battle music or whatever, but like the full OSTs from games. I am already doing that on YouTube, and if I don't have YouTube Premium, I'm never.
Right.
Well, I'm not gonna say never, but like I don't see myself being a YouTube Premium subscriber, which means I constantly have to have my phone open, or I have to have it open, and I'm constantly getting ads and stuff, and it's a frustrating thing that I'm just too cheap to pay for. And yeah, it is really nice to have this app, and it's like included with NSO, which I didn't even realize. I was just like, oh, this is free for everyone, but no.
Nope.
So I'm happy. I'm happy it exists.
God, they literally made it for you.
I guess so.
That's funny. They can profit off of it now.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. The other thing I have is Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming to the Switch on March 20th of next year as a definitive edition. Super excited. It's one of those games that has been stuck on the Wii U for... Actually, I don't know when it came out. 2015, maybe? I don't know. Like 10 years. And it's finally come to the Switch, and they kept saying it would never happen, it would never happen, it would never happen. And here we are. It's happening. I'm so excited. No word on if there's going to be a collector's edition or a special edition, but literally every other release has had that. So I cannot imagine this is not going to have it. And plus, they already have it from the Wii U. Just give us a new book. Like, they already did it. Just repurpose it.
Yeah, you got to get your F5 key ready for the refreshing you're going to have to do to buy that. But that'll be worth it.
Yeah, if it's a freaking Nintendo store exclusive again, that was a goddamn nightmare. With 3. That was so stupid. So hopefully they don't do that. I didn't even think of that. Dang it. But anyway, that's all I got.
I'm excited for you as always. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Me either. They kept saying it wouldn't, but here we are.
I thought this was a funny little point of news. 7 months after the eShop went down, someone finally got disconnected from like Mario Kart 7 on 3DS. You saw that?
I saw that, yeah.
His freaking Wi-Fi card in his console, like, gave out. He just had it on for so long.
That's so funny.
It is hilarious. What a legend.
The only one, the last soul.
We did a Nintendo Switch 2 episode already, but one of those things that we talked about has been confirmed, and it is backwards compatibility. Big dub.
Yes. Yay.
Pretty much expected.
Yeah. There'd be riots if not.
And it's been a pretty boring month for news, but the last thing I have here is Remedy announced they're bringing some free content to Control, which is, I don't know if it was a nominee or if it won, but it was a Game of the Year contender in 2019. I really like this game, and I think it is going to be, it's going to be free content, so I might dive back into this game and actually like buy the DLC, because I was a pretty big fan of this. I played it like way later after it came out, but this is the same company that does Alan Wake, and there's a sequel coming to Control, but it's probably not going to be for a couple of years still.
Dang.
I just want to bring that up.
Well, while you were talking, speaking of Game of the Year, speaking of Game of the Year, the Game Award nominations are out, and I just looked them up for Game of the Year, which is the only category people really care about. And they are Astrobot, Balatro, I think it's that, the card deck building game that's super popular, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy 7? No, what is that? What's a V?
It is 7.
Final Fantasy 7.
It is 7.
Rebirth, yep. I know Roman numerals. And then Metaphor ReFantazio. So, no Nintendo games, unfortunately, but cool games nonetheless. They also recently put out, I forgot, that DLCs and expansions will be eligible for every category. So,
yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it, because, like, if you are putting a 30-hour DLC, that's, like, big enough to be its own game. Like, freaking Super Mario All-Stars Online free content, DLC, that obviously wouldn't ever win. It would never be nominated, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Super Mario Party is what you meant, but yeah.
I mean, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm on the fence about it too. I mean, I don't care enough to have an argument with somebody about it, but I think it is an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that Shadow of the Erd Tree is massive, but on the same note, you have to beat the main game to access it, which is crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a debate to be had.
Oh, Balatro is like...
Balatro.
I am incredibly interested by Balatro. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to end up buying it. It's also on phones. It seems like a good game to just have on your phone, but I probably end up getting it on Switch.
That's exciting. Is it only on Switch? No, certainly not.
It's on everything.
If it's on your phone, it's probably... Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
But yeah, I need to experience that game. I've heard nothing but good things. Obviously, it's a Game of the Year contender, and it's a freaking indie game, so good for them.
Yeah, agreed. And we like card building games.
Yeah, heck yeah. Been buying, Hannah. What's going on over there?
Been buying. Well, I haven't bought anything, but I was gifted something. Does that count?
It does, because I bought it.
Yeah. Yes. So you were kind enough to gift me Legacy of Ys books 1 and 2 on the DS, and I'm so excited. Mentioned it earlier. I think we should play Ys Origin, and then I should jump right into playing that one, because I feel like it'll be fresh on my mind. Get that early beginning lore, and then boom, jump right into 1 and 2. I'm so freaking excited. You don't even understand.
Ys Origin episode coming soon.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I gotta freaking brush off my 3DS. Unless you think I should play it on my regular DS. Really get the experience.
No, you're good.
I'm so excited. I literally almost cried when I opened it. So thank you.
So
perfect birthday present.
Tell me what you have. You have 3 on Super Nintendo, and I don't even know what all I've purchased for you and what you've purchased for yourself. Can you list them?
Well, I can list all of them, and you've bought me probably most of them. So I have obviously 1 and 2 now on the DS. I have Origin. I have 3. I have Lacrimosa of Donna, which I think is 8. I have 9, which is Monstrum Nox. I have 10, which is Nordics. And then I have Hold on. I have 7 on the PS2 or 6. Oh no.
I think it's 7.
No. I think it's 7 on the PS2, and then I have 1 on the PSP, and that is, it's not Memories of Falgana, it's the other one. What's the other one? Dang it, I can't remember. But I also have one on the PSP.
What console is...
And you've gifted me all of them, pretty much.
What console is Lacrimosa on? Is that Switch?
That's on Switch.
Okay.
Yeah. So 8, 9, and 10 are all on the Switch.
Okay.
Dang it. It's got some funky name, which is why I can't remember it. They all have funky names.
Yeah, it seems like they all do.
They're all crazy, but yes, I have. And I've played all of them, obviously, except for 1 and 2. And I'm playing 10 right now.
Okay. Let me talk about my been buying before you tell us about Ys 10. So last month we recorded a little early because I had to do the, I went to a convention. I bought like so many games. I did a whole video on that. Probably the coolest thing I got was a complete in box Metroid. So I'm glad to finally have that crap.
Ooh.
Very pretty, very nice early print. And anything else that wasn't in that video, I have pretty much stopped purchasing things for the time being, but I did get a couple more GameCube games. I got like Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee, and I have Avatar: The Last Airbender coming in the mail. Just more GameCube nonsense. I finally completed a copy of WarioWare Twisted. This game looks really fun.
Ooh.
It's a big
it's
box.
Holographic.
It is holographic, and it's a big box because the cartridge has motion. That fat tumor on that bad boy.
Yeah, man.
Did you figure out the Ys game?
I did. It's Ark of Nepishtim, which is fucking crazy name. It's 6. So I've played 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 in Origin. That's pretty good.
Heck yeah, that is a lot. Yeah, tell us about Ys 10.
So I started it the other day, and I think I'm 10 hours in. It is very fun. So, like, the main mechanic in this one, they all kind of have, like, their own gimmick. This one is sailing, so you actually get to, like, be on a boat. You get to have battles in the boat. You get to shoot cannons and shoot lasers and whatever. And you get to sail to different islands, which is fun. And I'm kind of like just scraping the surface. I just kind of got to the whole battle thing. You can upgrade your ship. You can add more artillery. You can add more weapons, HP, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
That's really fun. I really like the aspect of traveling to different places. Like, the whole kind of thing of Ys is it's obviously following Adol, who's the same character, the same red-headed character in all the games. And so he's a big adventurer, so he just normally travels from one island to the other island to the other island and all these different nations. But like this one, you're kind of like exploring those different islands, and I really like that. That's like a fun little lore thing.
Cool.
It's good. Combat's like the same as the other ones. As far as story goes, like I said, I'm only 10 hours in, so I'm kind of like just scratching the surface. It's not my favorite in the series. It goes 8, well, on the Switch. It goes 8, then 10, then 9, I think, right now. 8 was just like absolutely fantastic, and I don't rate it versus the other ones because those ones are completely different, but it's still very fun. It's just like it is not like it's just kind of like a filler till the next Xenoblade Chronicles comes out. But like a good one, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not super in-depth, it's not like a super hard RPG to pick up and learn, but it's still really fun.
Didn't 11 just get announced or something?
No, so they announced a remake of Memory of Falgana, which is the other one on the PS2. And that one's coming sometime next year.
Oh, okay.
But no, I don't think 11 was announced.
Very cool. Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking of.
I love it. The Ys series is just fantastic.
Yeah, you are to Ys as I am to Castlevania, or maybe I think that's a pretty good analogy. Like, we've both found these series in the last few years and like fallen head over heels for them. Yes, love them. I'm on a mission to play all of them. I'm playing Black Ops 6 came out last month, so more Call of Duty as always. Woo! How exciting. But I'm playing Final Fantasy 7 a lot right now. So about 35 hours in, and dang, it's still on disc 2 out of 3. It's coming to an end. It's a fun game for sure. I think I've talked about it plenty already, but it's
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'll have it done this year for sure, and I can move on to something else. But yeah, I've also like before bed been playing Yoshi's Island DS. Just got through the first world. That is a cute little. I mean, it's literally the Super Nintendo game that got like modified a little bit. Have you played Yoshi's Island?
No.
Well,
No. Yes. Yes.
oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you
On
have
the Game Boy Advance.
you have yeah, that's the same thing too. So you have Baby Mario, but in this game they added new babies and they all have different abilities. So you can be Baby DK, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach. I don't know about Luigi. Baby Wario, I think, shows up. I haven't gotten that far, obviously, but it is neat that they modified the mechanics a little bit, and
Yeah.
but, perfect game on Super Nintendo. I'm happy to be experiencing it again in a slightly different way on DS.
That's pretty cool. It uses touchscreen, obviously, right?
No, it doesn't even use the touchscreen.
How about the microphone?
Not yet.
Dang it.
I forget that the mic is even there. It's funny.
Yeah, so do I. But the microphone has been around since the Nintendo 64. Crazy.
All right, that's about 2 hours and some change. Anything else, Hannah?
We nailed it and then some.
I just have to say thank you to our listeners. It's been great. I really appreciate you guys. Almost 10,000 listens is pretty freaking insane. If there are, we appreciate feedback. It would be awesome if you wrote us a review. Or you can literally comment. You can go to the Discord. There's plenty of ways to give us feedback about, what kind of content you would like to see, or if there's something that we could change that you don't like about the show, give it to us. Yeah, don't be shy.
Yeah, definitely. DMs are always open. Here's to another 5 freaking years.
Heck yeah. We will see you guys in December for another episode.
See you.